Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. Today I want to address one topic that is of importance to all of us. From my many years of analyzing the taxi industry in Kenya, I can tell you that the only issue with taxi industry in Kenya is lack of trust between the drivers and the companies that run these online applications. That is Uber, Bolt, Litrocab and the rest. And to justify my analysis, you will have seen that all the drivers I have interviewed and everybody who speaks negative about taxi industry will always be targeting Bolt. Anybody who is talking negative about taxi driving will always target Bolt. They will say that Bolt, have the worst customers. Bolt has the worst pricing. Bolt has, everybody saying anything negative about the industry will always be targeting Bolt. And they will leave out the rest of the applications like Uber, like Litrocab, like Faras, and the rest. And why is it that Bolt has become an easy target of bad attitude, of bad energy or negative energy from the drivers? It is because over the years there has been deterioration of trust between drivers and the Bolt company. And this has been, developing from the fact that Bolt as a company has a habit of blocking drivers' account on issues that are not very well justified and on issues that don't have a clear decision-making process. For instance, if a customer or a Bolt customer gets into my car and then we have an interaction that leaves that customer not very happy, that customer can choose to report me to Bolt and say, for instance, my car was not clean, or say that I dropped her at a point where they did not indicate as the drop off, or maybe say that I asked them to go offline, or say that I asked them for more money than what the app was showing. Just on one incident, if that customer reports me to Bolt on one incident, Bolt will automatically block my account. I will actually wake up the next day, try to go online so that I can carry passengers using my Bolt account, and I will find that it is blocked. Even without notification, even without an opportunity for appeal, Bolt blocks drivers' account just like that. And so many drivers have really cried, because driving with Bolt is a big opportunity in my view. Bolt has over 60% of the clientele in Kenya. Okay, so if your account in Bolt is blocked, it simply means that you lose over 60% of the opportunities to carry people. You have to struggle with other applications like Uber, like Bolt, like Litrocab that don't have a huge demand as Bolt. Okay, so drivers over time, they have really felt that the environment in which they operate with Bolt, it is not an environment of trust. If you can wake up just one day and terminate my account because a passenger was not happy with me, honestly, I will not feel comfortable working with you, because I live in fear that tomorrow it could be my turn. Okay, so and Bolt, for clarification, they don't always block drivers permanently. They can block you, for a day, for 24 hours, for a week, for 6 months, or permanently, depending on how they classify the issue that has been reported. Okay, so even for most of us who are employed, let us be honest, if your employer is not happy with you, or if your performance is not right, they don't wake up and just terminate your employment just like that. There is how is it called, termination process. If it is performance based, they will document that your performance has consistently been poor. They will show measures that they have put in place to improve your performance, and if the performance has not improved, they will justify at the end that termination was the only solution because you have consistently under-delivered. But Bolt does not do that. On this other hand, Uber is not any better in terms of pricing, in terms of customer perception, because the same customer that we carry with Uber are the same we carry with Bolt, because they will check which is cheaper and then they order depending on whichever is cheaper. But Uber also has very cheap rates. people accuse Bolt of cheap rates, but Uber has sometimes even the cheapest rates, cheaper even than for us and Bolt and Retool Cab. But nobody talks about it because they have some more trust in Uber than Bolt. Uber gives drivers an opportunity to appeal. If a passenger reports you, for instance, that your car was not clean, that you requested to go offline, Uber will send you an email and say this and this was reported on your trip ID. So they tell you the trip ID number and they mention the issue. And then they say this is the last warning. If you repeat that, your account will be temporarily blocked with a potential of being blocked permanently. So, with that kind of a message, you can write to them and appeal and say this, explain yourself. You can explain the situation that led to that incident happening. Because sometimes you can carry a passenger and then the passenger becomes unruly. Maybe the customer was drunk. Maybe the customer was making noise. Maybe they had a pet, a dog that you don't want to carry in your car because of hygiene and other values that you hold. You can decide to drop that customer along the way and say, I'm not willing to serve you. Okay? But it's a liberty that drivers should be given. And actually it's there in our policy in our agreement with Uber, that you choose to drive the passengers depending on whether you feel secure, whether you feel safe. You can choose not to carry a passenger if you feel that you are threatened. But these things Bolt don't take into account. So what I'm trying to say here is that aspect of trust has really been dissolved. It has gone down. It has been finished. It is no longer there between Bolt and drivers. And a lot of drivers today are not operating on Bolt. Actually, when I walk around to look for drivers to interview, I find a lot of drivers just on one app. They are either using Bolt or using Uber, or because one of them has been blocked. Of course, some drivers have bad characters of asking for offline trips, of too much cancellation. So if you cancel so many trips or you fail to accept so many trips, then your driver score will go down, and below a certain threshold, you will be blocked out, because they advise drivers to go online only when they are ready to accept trips. And that for me is very good, because if you become too choosy about the trips you will take, then at the end of the day you will find that your income is very little, because you are making too much selection on who to carry, on which destination to go. But for me, I always tell drivers, even if you don't like some areas, unless you are planning to go to home, or you are planning to go the direction of your home, and maybe your hours to go home have arrived, that is the only time you should become choosy about the places you go to. But other times, accept each and every trip, as long as it makes sense. The pickup distance is justifiable, is not very far, and then the destination also, depending on your judgment. Don't overjudge. Just take every trip that comes your way, and by the end of the day you will make so much money. So by so doing, you will make sure that your driver score is a bit high. So that is what I always tell drivers. Okay, but now to conclude on what I was saying is that Bolt has suffered trust. That is the problem. Okay, how they can improve that is by reducing their threats towards drivers. A lot of time, even their messaging is always threat. Every message they send you, your driver score is going down, you risk being blocked. Okay, instead of turning that message into a positive approach that is more of feedback giving, and maybe say that your driver score is going down, do this and this and this to improve it. Don't put threat before the improvement measures. It's good that driver should not feel threatened every other minute. And that's the message I am sending out there to Bolt if they are watching. They are a good app, they are a good company, they give drivers a lot of job, but they need to work on improving trust between them and drivers. No driver should feel like their job is under threat. No driver should sleep worrying that they might wake up tomorrow and find their account blocked. Okay? Even if there are issues reported about the driver when he is asleep, he should be given a chance, to appeal or to tell his side of story before his account is blocked. And that is what we are calling for as drivers. Have a good day.